From milk to meat, the journey grows. Tender steps to stronger bones. Through the desert, through the wheat, every word is bread to eat.
All right, friends, we are back for yet another episode of Milk to Meat. And I am one of your two hosts for this thrill ride we are on. Thrill ride is a big word, Trav.
It's a big word.
But here with my good buddy, co-host, cohort in spiritual milk to meatness, Big Trav. You would always say cohort in crime, but I don't think a podcast about.
I don't think it's appropriate.
I don't think it's appropriate.
It would be honest, but not appropriate, Rob.
But yeah, we do have fun with these, though. I tell you that. It's always fun. It's always a blast. And, so. But anyway, so yeah. So last time, Trav, we talked about why the church is important. So the next, I think the next thing to kind of go into with that, to further that is, why is the community or the church community, I think,
Yeah.
essential for growth? And because a lot of times I think we go, well, okay, church is important. Let's go to, we'll go to church. That's great, fine, whatever. But, I don't like, and I've never been a person like, great, good, fine, whatever. You better give me a good reason.
Yeah.
Especially, again, we gave them some good reasons, but now, okay, great. So now I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And I can go and I can do, and I'll get involved a little bit here and there, and that's fine. But if we want people, again, it's like kind of like milk to meat in that sense. If we want them to grow beyond just that attender who kind of helps, and that's fine. But let's get involved. Let's become part of the body in the sense of an integral part that's part of that fabric. I think it's incumbent upon us, and this is part of discipleship, to tell them why.
Absolutely.
So,
So, Rob, let's do your favorite part. Use all those words you like.
let's define this, and then we'll go. We'll do the big long wordy thing, and then we'll just break it down into simple terms. You know what I mean? But the church community is essential for growth because it provides a dedicated environment for accountability, mutual encouragement, and character development. It challenges individuals to move beyond isolated belief and practically apply their faith through relationships, shared service, and diverse perspectives. So basically what we're saying on all of this, and it's important to have all this in here because this allows us to go into our other topics.
Right.
It tells everybody kind of what we're doing, but it's basically what it's saying is it's creating an environment for a lot of different things. It's like a planter box for a lot of different plants to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and in the whole,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And
Variety pack.
It's a variety pack, really, but it's the variety pack it's a variety in one pack.
Right.
So
That's what a variety pack is, Rob.
That's true. Thank you, Trav, as always.
You're welcome.
Bringing clarity. And we talked a little bit about accountability, in the last episode.
Let's touch on that just a little more. So accountability could be multiple things. But one thing we didn't touch on is when you get around a body of believers,
Yes,
it naturally holds you to a higher standard.
it does.
Maybe not so much because the other people are doing better than you are, but you look around and you're like, I'm not doing as well as I should.
Well, yeah, and I think you also, Trav. It's like, so I always use my dad as an example. My dad my dad loves the Lord. My dad has such a deep walk with the Lord, and so when I'm around my dad, it just is a natural challenge.
Right. It
For
just
me,
makes you want to be better.
It makes, he doesn't say a word. It's like he looks at me and he looks down
It's
his
got
nose
that-
at me, and
Let's use that new age term. He has an aura.
the aura about him.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I do feel the Holy Spirit like ebbing off of him, if you
Yeah.
will. And so it naturally challenges me to be better. He doesn't say it.
One of my favorite movies is War Room.
Yeah.
And in the movie, they the lady goes to sell her house, and the gentleman and his wife that comes to buy the house, he walks into her prayer closet, and he's like, "Somebody's been praying in here."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That's what this is exactly like."
Right.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
It's tangible.
No, absolutely. And if you think about it, I mean, when the interaction between believers, it provides that safeguard. So when we interact, like, because I can talk to my dad, like we'll use my dad or you and I, when we talk about these things, Trav, think about it. We are also, um, it provides a safeguard, like against personal blind spot. It helps us maintain focus. So if I'm missing something, like somebody he'll point that out, or like if you and I are talking, point those things out. But it also it stretches.
Well, we do this a lot.
Yeah.
We'll call each other up, or if we're together, whatever it may be, and be like, "Look, this is what I'm on right now.
Yeah.
I'm missing something.
Yeah. What am I missing?
What is it I'm missing?
Yeah. Where am I not seeing this?
I need a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah.
A fresh brain to say, okay, you've got this part.
Yeah.
But here's the part you don't have.
Right.
So let's put those pieces together.
Right. And I think the idea being, it talks about a safe place, but a safeguard as well, where there's a safe space where even if the answer is uncomfortable, it's coming from a place of care and love. Does that make sense? Like nobody, like even like you and I, we're pretty rough and tumble, and I say that because I want to use a term that people kind of can understand without it getting, you and I,
Taylor, man.
yeah, but we're pretty, guyish with each other without being inappropriate or anything like that.
Right.
And I don't know that everybody can handle it, but we understand it, and it comes from a place of care and love. The church does that. When you develop those relationships, like when you and I talk, we know where it's coming from. And yes, sometimes it stings, but here's the thing, and I use this, and parents will understand this. Sometimes, yeah, it does sting, but it doesn't mean you don't love your kids. It doesn't mean you don't, or husbands and wives. There are times you have to be honest with each other. It doesn't always feel the best, but
as I say, it's not always rainbows and unicorns.
Yes, exactly. But that doesn't mean it's not love. Jesus was very clear on this. Sometimes, he disciplines those he loves. And I'm not talking about us disciplining each other. Sometimes, though, the truth is not, yeah, awesome. Do whatever you want to do. The easiest thing I can say is, do you think that I should go play in traffic when, on a freeway? Yeah, love would say, yeah, the world's definition of love. Yes, please, whatever makes you feel good and happy, please do. You're going to die.
And we really, really live in that society.
We really do, because if you
be
love me,
your
you
own
will
person and do your own thing.
Yeah.
And we're setting people up for failure.
We really are. Love would say, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
I think that that's going to cause you real harm. And so there's a way to say it. I think one of the biggest things that I've I remember hearing this at one point. There's two ways you can say to somebody that doesn't look good. One is, when they were talking about makeup on your face could stop a clock, or your face would turn back time.
Right.
Both of which say the same thing, but communicated in totally different ways. You know what I'm saying? And I don't. Again, we don't want to flatter or do things in an inappropriate way. But Jessica is very good at letting me know this, that I don't always communicate it.
She's battle hardened.
She is battle hardened. That I am not always the best at doing it in love. I'm using air quotes. I always try, but she's like, you have to be better at communicating it. And
sometimes you need to use the jeweler's hammer and not the sledgehammer.
And I would agree with that. Yeah, and I need to be better, and that's what the Lord's working with me on. And you and I are good about helping each other out with that. You know what I'm saying? That accountability. And sometimes you need like the Bible talks about that too. That iron sharpening iron.
Yeah.
And you need guys need other guys to tell them sometimes. And sometimes Jessica will say that, she'll be like,
and
go
I think
talk to Travis.
This will really lead into the next vulnerability in small groups.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with these subjects with certain people like me and you, I tell you things that I don't tell everybody else.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that's, small groups are like that too.
Yeah.
Once you build that trust in one another, or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
Whether it may be family or friends, a small group at church or whatever, you're willing to say, "Hey, I'm not doing great.
Yeah.
I am struggling. I do need help, or maybe I just need a little pick me up."
Or I have a question about one of the things that I've noticed in small groups as well is people are willing to be more vulnerable and say, I don't understand this verse. What does this actually mean?
Right. When you're
I've
in a crowd, it's very hard to be like, "I'm a dummy."
yeah.
But in small groups, you're like,
Eh, yeah, I know these
whatever.
people and these people know me and I feel comfortable.
They're already aware.
But what I think is interesting is that is where you'll see the most growth, I think, in people, because you can actually pick, I don't mean pick it apart in a bad way, but you can actually open the word up and life changing
Yeah.
growth
I think a
seems to
good
happen there.
example of this is Jesus and the disciples.
Absolutely.
Sometimes he spoke with all of them.
Yep.
But sometimes he went and took just 2 or 3.
Right. And if you look, he had his own small group because he did like you have the Olivet Discourse, you have the Sermon on the Mount. He's talking to thousands of people, and great. And interestingly enough, the disciples are like, hey, what did that mean? And he's like, yeah, they don't get it. They're not going to get it.
Here's
what it means.
Like, we don't get it either.
We don't get it. But he's like, I'm going to tell you guys. And he did it in a small group, and he broke it
But
apart.
they were willing to say that because it was a small group.
Right, exactly. So he broke it. He would break it down. And so the idea is sometimes you'll have these big grandiose ideas and you need them broken down and a small group is a way to do that. And you have a small group, as much as we try to not, I mean, you have the people that you know and the people that kind of, it just naturally kind of, you have those people that, and it's not that you don't like other people, it's just the people that you're kind of natural, the friend groups kind of do, and we're all good friends. We'll do anything we need to for people at church, but you have the people that you kind of naturally hang out with. Utilize that. Start talking. Have those conversations where you're like, "Hey, I was doing this," and because what's interesting is while you have your friend group, they know some people, and
Yeah.
you know some people that they don't. You have these natural, you know, avenues of conversation where you can get information. You know what I'm saying? Where they may not have somebody that they know, you have somebody you know that you can get the information for them and bring it back. So it's a natural avenue of growth. So, but yeah, the small groups are where you can be vulnerable, where you can ask those questions, get prayer, or get more information biblically, so to help your life grow.
And one thing I've always learned is most of the time is I'm not the only person.
That's a fact, by the way. That
Everybody
is
else is like,
so
"Man, I'm
true.
so glad you asked that."
Yeah, because I was going to have to ask it if you didn't. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, it's so true. Um, and then there's we also get, and we talk about mutual support. So a healthy community, a healthy church, provides emotional backing, prayer, and care during times of hardship. Um, the shared life is the best defense against life's relational and spiritual
And this
struggles.
goes back to the whole isolationism.
Yes, absolutely.
One of the things that I've struggled with in my own personal life is you always, when you get in that isolated place, you're like, "I'm the only person in the world that's
Yep.
ever dealt with this."
Absolutely.
Wrong.
Right.
There's billions of people on the planet, and there's billions of people that's been here before. You're not special.
Right.
You may think you are.
Yep.
And some people may say I am.
Yeah. Me too.
But it's very reassuring to me when I can talk to someone and be like, "Well, they're dealing with the same thing I am."
Right. Or they just came out of it, or whatever. Yeah.
Or you can be on the opposite end of that. You may have went through it, and now you can help that other person.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And what's interesting
And
is
save them some time and heartache.
right. God is such a perfectionist in the sense of he never wastes anything.
Mhm.
So even when you're going through, why would I do this?
But for you,
Right. Exactly. And God doesn't let things go to waste. So even when you don't understand it, give it a minute.
yeah.
There's probably somebody
I
who's
think a
going through
good
something.
example of that is the Israelites in the desert.
Yeah.
They went through a lot,
Yeah.
and it wasn't for them.
No. No, it was not. It was not at all. And that's, I mean, you look at it and God never wastes anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the numbers they estimated somewhere around 3 million people.
Yeah.
Is what went through the desert. 3 million people, and only 2 of them got to the promised land.
Yeah.
So 3 million people had to go through 40 years of marching around this mountain just so 2 people could actually see what God was going to do.
Yeah. Because that generation that complained didn't get there.
Yeah.
it was the generation that didn't
Yeah.
that went in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just wow. You know, it's really it's a again, Word 101. We'll get there, but yes,
Yeah.
tune in for that. You're gonna love that episode. But it's an interesting thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's but again, God doesn't waste. That's the thing.
Right.
He doesn't
Those
waste.
3 million people went through it, so we could have that story today.
Right.
So we can look back and be like, this is why they didn't get to where they were supposed to be.
And not only that, but also so we could know there are going to be times where you're going to be in a desert.
Been there, done that.
Been there.
You
And
got,
I'm
you got the T-shirt.
and I'm not the only person who's ever been in a desert. I'm not the only person who's ever, it shows that you're not the only one. And because one of the enemy's favorite tactics is to make you feel like you're the only one. You know. Not only is it like, no, I heard about a guy, I hate it when I hear this. Oh, and I had a friend who knows a guy. I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
I thank you that you know a guy. It's always better, and I love it. And please don't hear. Always help. It's helpful. I'm not saying that, but the point I'm making is, God said, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to create a record so you can know these are the people and these are their names. These people went through the desert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is and so that way we know here's the record of them. You know what I'm saying? They went through the desert.
Yeah.
You're not the only person.
And it's very reassuring,
Yeah.
when we go through those seasons of desert.
Yeah.
You look like it's not just me.
It's not just you're not wrong.
We get very focused on individuality.
Yeah.
When there's a broader picture.
Yeah.
And 3 million to 2. That's a lot.
That is a lot. So, and then we'll end it with the shared purpose that beyond just learning that a church should be mobilizing its members to use their individual gifts to serve both the congregation and the surrounding area.
Right. And I think this would be the great point to where you put in, if the hand doesn't do its job, or if the foot doesn't do its job,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can explain this a little better than me. Every part of the body has a function.
Yes.
It can't just say, well, the hand wants to be the brain today, or the foot wants to be the chest, or whatever.
Absolutely.
We are put together in order to accomplish multiple things.
Well, yeah, it's like something you said earlier when we were talking about intercessors. I don't know if that was last episode or earlier this episode, but whichever it was. I'm not an intercessor, so if I decide today I'm going to be an intercessor, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
The Lord gives gifts, and He's a good Father, and it says He gives us gifts. We are to use those gifts. It doesn't mean we can't ask and develop other ones, but it means we don't get to simply say, I don't want to do that today. I'm going to do this other thing. For example, if I'm not a good orator, well, okay, but I can't decide today I'm not going to do what I want, what I'm called and told to do. And a great example of this, and I tell people this all the time, and a good example, when you use the gifts that you have. Shaquille O'Neal. We could all decide today, we could take a vote. Let's say we get everybody in the world to vote that he is short. Does that make Shaquille O'Neal short? No. The fact of the matter is, God gifted him and made him tall. He's a giant. I mean, like, honestly, he's just huge. It doesn't matter what we vote. It doesn't matter what we want. God decided Shaquille O'Neal will be tall. And so one of his giftings is he's just tall. And so...
And it's very beneficial to us short people.
It is, especially when you need something off the top shelf.
I need that.
But here's the thing. If he decides, well, you know what? I don't want to be tall. Well, sorry about your luck, fella. You're tall. So and why do I bring that up? Because
it's an extreme.
It's an extreme. And he's never going to decide I don't want to be tall. I'm sure there are times when he's trying to find size 18 shoes.
Or when he's been asked for the 50,000th time, how tall are you?
Exactly. How's the air up there? Whatever. I'm sure it gets old. But what I am saying is, by the way, remind me, I got to tell you something about Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley. But
it's bad.
It's really, really bad. But no, it's the idea is, to your point, we need to be content with where God has placed us.
Yeah.
And what God has asked us to do. And it doesn't mean we don't continue to ask, hey, Lord, I'd like to, or could I, or help me with this. It doesn't mean that. But it means we don't simply decide one day, I'm not going to be a hand extended because I want to be a foot extended. Well, no, you do what the Lord asks you to do. And you serve how the Lord asks you to serve. And if you want to do something, you can always ask the Lord. It says, ask of me. But we do what the Lord has asked us to do. And because we are obedient to the master, to the master craftsman. And so, because he's gifted us in a way that we all fit together.
Yeah.
And so that's the idea. And so, that really is kind of how that works. And again, we see things as, well, that person up there is doing something that everyone can see and that's super important. God doesn't look at it that way. See, again, to him, obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is, just because you're not doing something,
we're out in the forefront.
In the forefront, God actually says that.
And let's use a celebrity of today, a famous singer or something.
Yeah.
There's one person singing.
Yeah.
But it takes hundreds
Yep.
of other people to get that person to that stage to sing.
Absolutely.
And without those people, they would not be there.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, the nice thing that is the way that God does his economy.
Yeah.
He knows every single person.
Yeah.
That it takes. So if that was a Christian singer, let's say, or a Christian evangelist, or a Christian whatever, he knows every single person who's serving on every single ministry, who's doing every single job, and they're doing it as unto him. He's keeping every record, and he has never missed. He's never missed anything.
That's it.
And his record book is perfect. So the idea is, it doesn't matter whether anyone else sees you ever. God sees everything.
That's
and so
it.
we need to make sure that we are being content, but we are serving, and we are doing so as unto the Lord.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, I guess that wraps that one up, Trav. So, any other parting shots?
No.
All right. Well, as always, if we can serve you in any way, please let us know. You can email us at the milk2meat discipleship@gmail.com. You can like, subscribe, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And we will catch you on the next episode of Milk to Meat. We'll see you, everybody. Bye-bye.